Let's talk about parents. This is some more positive policies that have come through, and particularly, more specifically, for soon-to-be parents or prospective parents. If we think about the landscape right now, we've got 18 weeks of maternity leave available and then 2 weeks of paid paternity leave available. And the scheme that's being proposed is to wipe that and just have a much simpler 20 weeks of shared parental leave.
So much better.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
So the benefit of this is that it allows more flexibility for a couple to say, well, maybe it's better for the father to take more time off and look after the baby, or maybe it's better for the mother, or maybe it's better to have a hybrid and do 10 weeks each or whatever, and you can share that. That's a great benefit. It actually adds a sneaky 2 weeks for a single parent too, because previously you'd have 18 weeks of maternity leave, but now you get 20 weeks of shared parental leave that you're all using yourself.
That's fantastic.
So that's cool.
Yeah.
More flexibility around how leave is taken, I think, is an awesome thing. It's in an area that we're seeing some really positive development. At both the women's end, in the sense of not necessarily having to impact their careers in ways that they don't want, and also for men in the sense that they have the ability to spend more time with children. Yeah. Very, very pleasingly, they've also made changes to the household income threshold. So in the past, the primary carer, whoever that designated person was, they needed to have an income under $151,000, and if they didn't have an income under that, they actually weren't eligible for the maternity leave payment. Now, 151K is a fairly reasonable income, of course, but notwithstanding that, we often sit down with people in that boat where the money would really make a difference. Yeah. It's going to result in having a much more stress-free time at home, enjoying that really rare, those really rare high quality times you're going to have with your young bub. And so shifting this is a positive thing, and it's a big shift. It's moving it, instead of being about the primary carer, it's just a household view. The household income threshold is going to increase to 350K, which is a much bigger number. That's, and I think it's just reflective of the fact that we want to cater for more people with this scheme. So absolutely, huge stamp of approval in my mind. I guess the only blemish here that stands out for parental leave is that there's still no sign or word of the 10% superannuation guarantee payments that have been talked about for a long time. Predominantly, it's women that are taking time off work, and the needle might shift in part with strategies like this, but I think it's going to have to shift a long way before we say that that statement isn't true.
Yeah, absolutely.
And knowing that there is a wage gap, and knowing that the flow-on effect is that there's a significant super gap, in my eyes, I think this is something that this should have been taken into account. Yeah. It's actually not that big an expense from a government perspective, so I'm a little disappointed